Welcome to Global Insider Talks. We're here today with Ricardo Pedrosa, who is Executive Director of ProColombia for the United States. For those of you who may not know, ProColombia is a government agency that promotes foreign direct investment into Colombia and supports Colombian companies as well as they look to expand into different markets around the world. Ricardo, it's a pleasure to be here with you. And for those of you who may not know who Ricardo is, before he was Executive Director for the United States, he was also Executive Director in Europe, I understand.
Yes, correct.
Okay, and you have substantial experience working with companies, both in the government and in the private sector. So it's a pleasure to have you here. Thank you for being with us. How are you?
Very good. I'm doing well, Francisco. Thank you very much for the invitation. I'm very happy to share with you what we have to say regarding to what Colombia is doing today.
Excellent. So today we're talking about something very exciting, and we have lots to talk about. So let's dig in. And it's the topic of nearshoring. And I understand that Colombia, and especially the city of Bogota, recently was awarded a really nice prize for being the city of the year in nearshoring. And what a lot of people don't know is that nearshoring goes beyond manufacturing. So couple of questions there. What does it mean for you to get this prize, this award, and what does it mean to the nearshoring beyond manufacturing?
Yeah, thank you for the question, Francisco. Yes, we are very happy about the prize, the nomination, and Bogota and Colombia, in terms of nearshoring, has been a destination that is not only focused on infrastructure, but also on services. Just to let you know, in the last 10 years, we have working very hard in terms of making this industry a solid industry. Today, we employ more than 700,000 people in the area, in the service area, where they're providing services from basic call centers to very complex KPO or BPO or a shared services center operations. So it's happening today. We started working a long time ago, and now it's a reality, bringing jobs to the country, bringing jobs to the cities, bringing jobs to the different regions. We were ranked #1 by Offshore Confidence Index in 2021. And of course, we are committed to continue with this evolvement of what we're doing up to date. So we are very pleased with what happened with Bogota and with the country.
Congratulations, exciting. And of course, being a Colombian myself, American Colombian, and having been born in Bogota, I take pride on it as well, by extension. So thank you for all the hard work and for making it a reality. I think a lot of people probably don't know that, as I was saying earlier, that nearshoring goes into services, right? You tend to believe that is about manufacturing mostly, and of course, when you're thinking about servicing the U.S. market, countries like Mexico come to mind, which have a tremendous advantage because of where they are located. But it's great that that a country like Colombia can position itself to also be a player, especially right now, at least in the services part of this nearshoring. Are there any particular industries that you're seeing that are coming in into Colombia that are more attracted to Colombia, or that Colombia is better placed or better positioned to serve?
Yeah, I would say that companies or industry that are looking for services in Colombia are from different types, from the private sector, the government sector, even manufacturing services, but they're looking for something in common. And what they're looking in common here in Colombia is to find talent. We have talent. So I wouldn't say it's a specific sector that is coming, it's the need to look and find talent. And that is what is happening in Colombia. We have young population. We obviously are cost effective on the other side. That is very important too. And today, companies are realizing that based on what is happening today in the world, they need to have continuity. They have to have diversification. They have to have different areas, similar time zones, similar cultures that they have to look for in order to provide services to their customers. And something that is very important too is doing it in a way that it's friendly to their customers. And something that Colombians we do have is we are very friendly. We are In fact, we are the most welcoming country on earth. And when you talk to a Colombian, you will immediately realize that. But for these sectors, especially services, being gentle, being open, listening to the customer makes a huge difference. So that's what is happening today. Diversification, looking for options, talent, cost effectiveness, and a great service.
So that speaks highly of why Colombia, but some would say, well, that sounds fantastic, but I know other countries that have similar things in talent and things like perhaps Peru and Brazil. And so can you dig a little bit farther onto why Colombia and why Bogota, a little bit about that infrastructure that's in place that really made you win this award as having everything that is needed for companies looking to do business in the region?
Yeah, why Bogota? Let me tell you a little bit about why Bogota. The first of all is you have to look for talent. And as you may know, Bogota in Colombia, Colombia is the third largest country in the region. So you will find talent easily. We have a large number of the population between 20 and 40. So it's the sweet spot where you need most of the talent you're looking for. Bogota and Colombia are connected. We have more than 11 submarine cables connecting the country. So you will have the infrastructure you need. So it's not only talent, but obviously how do you support that talent in terms of technology? You will find the technology, the connections that you need for that. And on the other side, we just released a law, which is called the 2121 law, which was released on 2021, which regulates all and standardizes all the remote work if you need to provide services remotely. So that's important too, because it's not a matter of providing the services, but make sure you provide the services with the quality and the support and the legal support that the people need. So it's happening there. I would say also that if you need English, up to date, 10% of the active population that you need for this type of services speak English. And we have universities which produce very good talent in terms of graduates. So if you're looking for a shared services center for development, for accounting, for HR type of roles, you will find very good talent. So I would say that this summarizes what Bogota and Colombia have to offer in terms of making sure you have the volume of the people, the quality of the people, the infrastructure you need, and obviously the cost advantage and the regulatory framework.
Yeah, not to mention the geographic location, which is blessed, right?
Yeah, sure. Something that is very important too is obviously the time zone. If you take a look at the cities, Bogota, for example, it's just a 3-hour flight from Miami. It's a 4-hour flight from Washington. It's a 4.5-hour flight from New York. So it's very close. It's closer than going coast to coast. But something that's very important too is what you have in terms of culture. There's affinity in terms of the way we think and the way that the American customers think. So it's easier for them to provide services that are aligned with the same culture and way of thinking.
Yeah, and that's critical when you're doing business. It really helps you, right, navigate things a lot faster, and it reduces some of those barriers. So, whether they decide to go to Colombia or elsewhere, why should companies be thinking about nearshoring? Why is it the time to do that?
Today has no question around it. You have to make decisions in terms of thinking your business differently. You have to think about diversity on one side, location on another side, risk to diversify too. So thinking about new places to go is something that is a must. The world started moving from east-west to north-south, south-north. So it's very important to think this way now, because you have to lower your risks. And obviously you have to find good talent. You have to find the technology that is behind. You have to find a very good cost structure. And you have to find also the regulation that is around that. And you will find that in Colombia. You will find, just to give you a couple of examples, I would say that 98% of the country is connected today. So you have the connections that you need. Something also very important is, depending on your business, we have a little bit more than 100 free trade zones. So you can establish your business into the free trade zones and take advantage of it. Tax advantage and also operational advantages that you can find there. And obviously, depending also on your business, you can have VAT advantages. So there's a mix that makes a powerful value proposition for companies to think in Colombia and especially in Bogota as a nearshoring destination.
And Colombia does have a free trade agreement with the United States that's been in place for a while as well, right?
Yes, it's very important too. In fact, this year, we are celebrating, commemorating the 10th year of the signature of the free trade agreement. And by the way, this year too, we're celebrating 200 years of diplomatic relationship between Colombia and the US. So 210 years, it's something that is not casual. And we have been allies for many, many years. We have been working together. And these are examples to sign that free trade agreement and to make this free trade agreement something that is bringing benefits to both countries, to both organizations that require, even in Colombia or in the US, to take advantage of it for the benefit of both countries is happening.
It's the longest, most prosperous relationship. And I have to be, honest and say that we'd be remiss not to mention the recent presidential election. As you know, Factum Global, our firm, helps companies with their global expansion efforts, and our clients and potential clients and people that we know have been asking us about Colombia and what the future looks like for foreign companies and investment. Is there a reason to be scared, or are there things in place that will serve ensure that Colombia will continue to be an attractive destination and continue to get these awards for nearshoring and for ease of doing business and things of that sort in the future? What can you tell those companies that are concerned?
Yeah, we just have president elections, and let me share with you some thoughts that we have regarding to them. On one side, we just talk about the relationship Colombia-US for 200 years. Colombia has been outside the US one of the largest, longest democracies in the region. There's something important. And it's not just a history, it happens during these elections. After we close, a couple of hours after closing the votes, we got already the results. So it's something impressive. The institutionality in Colombia is very strong. We're working with it. And now both governments, the one that is going out and the incoming government, are working together on plans to make sure there is a handshake and make sure that the country continues with the same path of prosperity that we have had in the past. So I would say we have a long tradition of democracy. We have a long tradition of institutionality, strong institutions, and we can show with facts that it's happening and it's working.
Excellent. I do know, and countries do go through all kinds of different presidents and governments, and few could say that stay as stable as Colombia has shown in the last few years. Is there any message that you want to send to those who are watching regarding investment in Colombia, and particularly since we're talking about nearshoring, establishing operations in the country?
Yeah, regarding to additional messages that I want to share, I would like to say several. The first of all is Colombia is closer than people think. Very important. Third largest country in Latin America, very important. Good quality people and talent to find. 100 free trade zones to establish their business. Same time zones, very important. And based on that, we continue promoting the country. Something that we do in terms of promoting the country is bringing buyers and sellers together, for example. We have done that in the past, and we are in fact planning one in Texas by mid-November. So I would like probably just to have a final message that is, stay tuned. Second week of November, we are gonna have an event where you can find directly from the companies in Colombia coming here to talk to potential buyers or people interested in thinking about Colombia and to hear the story firsthand. So we'll share with you the specific dates that we are this week about to finish. and then we can send an invitation and accept the date.
Exciting, and I look forward to receiving that invitation. That'll be fantastic. Ricardo, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me today. It's been a real pleasure. I really appreciate it, and I hope you can come back sometime in the near future to give us an update on how things are going for Colombia, and particularly about attracting all those companies to the country.
That will be great. I would love to. And this time, thank you so much for the invitation. And hopefully I could share with you some of the insights that I have about what my country has to offer.
Thank you, Ricardo. For more information on Factum Global, on these Global Insider Talks, or to sign up for our newsletter, please visit www.factumglobal.com.